Recently in the news, we've covered a number of stories highlighting the escalating problem of fly tipping. We've been out with the local enforcement officers to witness just how bad the situation is in certain areas. Now, in addition to this, we've been made aware of another area which is seeing a rise in fly tipping, and that's here on Tameside's canal network. So joining me now is Mark and Luke from Tameside Canal Boat Trust, and we're here under the Cavendish Street Road Bridge. This is where your problems are happening, Mark, or one of the problems.
This is what's happened this last half term. We've found numerous articles blocking our navigation, including tumble dryer, metal bed frame, bicycle, wheelchair, Asda trolleys, loads and loads of stuff, DVD player, preview box, to name but a few.
And a cuddly toy.
And cuddly toys.
We joke about it, but it really is a serious issue, this, which is affecting, a lot of the canals, not just here, but I guess across the whole of the UK.
It is, yeah. For decades now, since the 1960s, volunteers have strived to reopen waterways, and when they reopen them, keep them alive. It's a lot of money and it's a passion for volunteers. We're equally as passionate about what we do with our community service and our public trips. And to find such items literally blocking our navigation so we can't get through, it's utterly disheartening and extremely saddening. And it's fly tipping. There's no access to the bridge, so the items must have been dropped over the bridge.
So we are here just right by the side of Asda.
You are.
And there's no access for public in terms of the footpath.
There is no access for public whatsoever. You're right across the road from Asda. This used to be, years ago, this used to be access for boats to moor here and walk up to Asda and do the shopping and then carry on. Unfortunately, the decision by local council and Asda was then to close it, so there's now no access. As you can see behind us, there is a wall which is blocking the original towpath.
Mm-hmm. Luke, you're one of the volunteers here at the Tameside Canal Boat Trust. In terms of the impact it has on the trips, is that massive?
All the passengers, they stick their hands out, they could risk getting cut on some of the objects. Worst case scenario, something gets stuck, flings itself up inside the vessel, could hit a passenger. Never know, something on the canal could hit the bottom, pierce the bottom.
And this is quite a nice part of the stretch of the canal, isn't it?
Beautiful, lovely scenery there. You can see the Asda. It's a nice experience when you're on the trips. You never see this part of the canal when you're obviously walking because you can't get here unless you're on our boat. But obviously this section here, it's basically commercial flight tipping. You see that sort of scale commercially. It's not like obviously normal.
I guess the question mark is who ultimately is responsible for getting rid of this? Is it Tameside Council?
That's a good question, Mark. I'm quite sure on that one. The waterways are owned by the Canal and River Trust. Realistically, we've got as part of the Canal and River Trust adoption scheme, which is Britain-wide, we've adopted this part of the canal to try and keep it clean, and our volunteers strive to keep it clean. In the winter time, we invite community groups down. In fact, last winter, January to March, and next year, 2025, January to March, we've got a local community college from Stirling Bridge coming down, youngsters who are participating in the Duke of Edinburgh Awards, and they want to get involved in canal clean-ups and learn a little bit about boating at the same time. So it's a great opportunity for them. And we bring them out, we take them litter pitting down the towpath. Other days we take them out on the boat and get bags and bags. We get tons and tons full of rubbish, bottles, cans, etc. Floating debris in the canal. But this is on a larger scale. This is absolutely saddening and disheartening. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I guess as well, if there was an emergency in the water, jumping in is Pretty high risk.
It's very high risk. It's not an option for us. And if we got jammed, if the boat got jammed on this section, on some rubbish that was underneath the waterline, and we couldn't proceed forwards or backwards, then we'd have to call the emergency services to rescue us. And that would involve a rescue boat, as there's no access for pedestrians. The fire brigade would have to bring one of the fire boats out to rescue us.
And Luke's brought a piece of equipment that looks rather interesting. Explain.
This is what we go and throw it in the pool like this, and we hopefully find something. Sometimes we find nothing like that, but if you give it a good old throw, you never know, you might fish a trolley or two.
Behind us here, we've got trolleys, we've got bits of dishwashers and stuff like that. It really is bad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. It really is. We've been away for a couple of weeks. We did our summer trips, and then we just had a couple of weeks break before half term, and now we've done the half term trips. This has happened in between those 2 weeks. This has happened. Somebody's dropped this rubbish in the canal, and this is on a large scale. This is I've never seen anything like this before. This is utterly ridiculous. We always have problems with obviously Asda trolleys being stolen and thrown in the canal, etc. What we would hope now in the future is obviously we'll try and remove some of this, and we'll pop it in one of the Canal and River Trust's working hoppers, and the Canal River Trust will endeavour to obviously get rid of it. However, going forward now, would hope that local council, GMP, Great Manchester Police, would assist in trying to apprehend these people, keep an eye out for these people. Fly tipping, it is an offence.